Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I have all kinds of fun things and playlists of all the different types of artwork I like to show on my channel. For this video, I want to talk about an idea I have and a challenge I'm putting out to everybody to play along with me. I'm going to start a new playlist and a new series called My Favorite Things. And first of all, I want to say that yes, I do jump around between journals and different types of art. I have many projects going at the same time, and not everybody likes to work in that manner. Some people like to open up a sketchbook and work only in that sketchbook until the whole book is completed. I'm one of those people that I have all different types. I have watercolor sketchbooks, and I have ones that I make mixed media art in. I have books that I do as altered books. I have altered books that have turned into art journals. And I like to work in them as I get inspiration. So one day I might wake up and there's something going on in current events with the pandemic, and maybe I want to work in my quarantine art journal and do a page about that, or how I'm feeling about something new that's come up about that. Or maybe I feel like watercoloring, so I pull out my watercolor sketchbook and I work in my watercolor book. But for this challenge, I want you to pull out a sketchbook or purchase a sketchbook or find a book that you can use as a journal. Maybe you can find an old book to play in, and this is a book that I've turned into an art journal, so that will work as well. If you only have an old book, use an old book. If you have different types of art journal sketchbooks that you like to use, like this is a Strathmore watercolor book, and I like to do art in that book. But make sure it's blank, because this is going to be a whole project from start to finish. This book is strictly going to be a My Favorite Things book. So if you like to do watercolors, get a little watercolor book. This is just a little square watercolor book with watercolor paper in it, where I'm doing watercolor sketches of my fish in this book. And maybe you like doing watercolor, so get a little watercolor sketchbook and use watercolor as your medium, because that doesn't really matter. The style of book, you can use a moleskin journal, you can get a little sketchbook, you can do it however you want to do it. But grab one that's empty and let's start this project together, and I'll explain what we're going to do. I know I have many different projects going, and for those of you who are following along with maybe the Wizard of Oz book, I'm working in a Wizard of Oz art journal, mixed media art journal. Maybe you are working in your quarantine art journal, where I'm posting videos and showing different things on the quarantine. This is my coronavirus quarantine journal, where I'm just journaling about things that have to do with what's going on with the pandemic. So maybe you're following along with that, and you're watching my videos strictly for quarantine art journaling. Maybe you're doing the Wizard of Oz challenge. Who knows? It doesn't matter, because we're jumping around. So this is a new one, and I'm not disregarding those old projects to start this new project. I'm going to still have videos on the quarantine journal. I'm still going to be working on my Wizard of Oz. And this is just something new. If you're a mother or a grandmother, you might want to work on this, and you might even want to get your children or grandchildren involved. Get them a journal. Have them work along with you, because I'm going to do a prompt. What I'm going to do is a prompt each time I do a video, and I'm not going to set up a specific day, like saying, oh, every Monday I'm going to post a video on this particular project, because if I limit myself to that and then something comes up on that Monday, or my internet isn't working well to upload a video, I don't want to disappoint any of my subscribers or followers. So I'm just saying, as I post a video for this, it'll be in the playlist and it'll be in the title, so people who are following along will know, okay, great, she's got a new prompt up for that particular journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a prompt, And then what we'll do is create a page in our journal relating to that prompt. So for example, it could be, what is your favorite drink? And then in your book, you're going to create a page layout, you know, like a 2-page spread layout, or it can be one, whatever you choose to do, on what your favorite drink is. You know, maybe that's soda. Maybe you want a bottle of Coke or Pepsi, and a really fun background. Maybe it's coffee or a specific tea or a cocktail. Who knows? But it could be a peach iced tea, and you have a really beautiful watercolor painted glass of an iced tea with a peach sitting next to it. It doesn't matter what you create, but you're going to create that page based on the prompt. So for the prompt of, we'll just start with that. Let's start with that. What is my favorite drink? And the whole book is going to be your favorites. So each week I'll show you what I create. I'll give you some ideas maybe for if you're stuck, some ideas on backgrounds and focals and what I'm doing to create mine, and maybe that'll give you some inspiration for creating yours as well. And then when this book is done, just think of how cool you're going to have this wonderful book that's all about you. It's all about things that you love, things that you that are your favorite things, you know, and it will be fun to look at for yourself, to look at and look over, and it'll be fun to pass down maybe to your kids or grandkids, or just share with them when they come over to visit, and you can say, hey, you know, let's look through my book of my favorite things, and you can inspire them to create their book, their own book of their favorite things. So what's the first step? First step is find what you're going to work in. Find a book, find an art journal, find a watercolor book, whatever mediums. You could do every single page all in painted watercolors if watercolors are your passion. If you like to do mixed media, you can find a book that you can do mixed media in, like a hardbound book or another kind of a journal. So step one, find your type of book. Step two, join my Facebook group, because what I would really like this to be is a community of support. So I'd love for you to join the Facebook Twisted Art Designs group and show me what you create based on my prompts, and share it with everybody else that's in the Facebook group so it maybe inspires them. You can have chats back and forth about your favorite things. So that's step number two. Number one, find what you're going to work in. Number two, join the Facebook group for fun and support. Number three, step three, gather together your favorite art supplies. I find that if you have a nice little table carved out somewhere and you have all your art supplies out in front of you, you're going to be more inspired to make art and do artwork. So gather together your supplies, whatever they are. They can be watercolor paints, acrylics, they can be anything, sprays, embossing stuff, rubber stamps, whatever you love, whatever's your passion. Gather it all together and have it in a spot where you can go and sit down and take a few minutes to just unwind, escape the crazy world, and create. And step four, the most important rule of all, have fun. This is meant to be fun. It's not meant to be comparing each other's artwork. And you see someone's and you say, oh, my art doesn't look as nice as that person's artwork does. It doesn't matter. Maybe you're a beginner. Maybe you're learning some new techniques, and watching someone else create will teach you some tips and tricks, and you can start playing around with what you've got, and you'll learn to create just as well. Maybe you're advanced. Maybe you make beautiful works of art, and you just find this type of a challenge in doing this favorites book as a new inspiration for a new project to get you going. Don't compare your artwork to someone else's. It's your artwork, and everybody's artwork is good. Art that comes from the heart is the best artwork of all. So that's the most important rule. So for my book, I've chosen this Strathmore Tan Tone Mixed Media book. You don't have to have this. This is just what I'm choosing. I will have a list in the description box below of all the products that I use in case you're looking for a place to purchase them, but it's definitely not necessary. This is tan toned paper, so I thought this would be kind of fun for me to work on, to do some colored pencil work, maybe some watercolor. This is mixed media, so you can use just about anything on it. So that's why I chose this. And I always like these long format books that I use this way, horizontally and vertically the long ways. So I thought this would be kind of fun. Anyway, the next video will be on the first prompt, which is, what is your favorite thing to drink? What is your favorite drink? So join me in this and let's have a good time together. I'm creating the playlist, so you'll be able to find all the videos in one spot. And subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell so you get notifications when one of these videos pops up. And please, please play along, because that's the fun of it, is us playing together and showing each other what we create. And each week it'll be a different something to do, and it'll be a lot of fun. So thanks for stopping by, and let's play, because art soothes the heart.